So this old millstone marks the site of a home that was torn down in 1846 by the property owner when he couldn't get the community that wanted to preserve it to pony up any money to do so. And because he had waited forever, finally decided enough was enough and sold pieces of the house to the highest bidder. Now, why would so much be made of a simple house? Well, it's not really a simple house. It's a garrison house. Garrison houses, like the one that we're looking at, were built for defensive purposes. You have an overhanging second floor, which in the original version would have opening slats that allowed fire or hot water or coals or rocks or whatever you want to drop from up above on anyone trying to get into the lower window. These garrison houses were protected by massive doors. In this case, it was a tacked door about 3 inches thick, made of chestnut, I believe. And that's not the original door to the home, because the home was torn down and the door fetched the highest price because the door bore the scars of the great 1704 Deerfield raid. Yes, this house, well, the house that it is a replica of, withstood the 1704 raid. And you can see the overhang up top here. We got some dentation. Beautiful colonial home. Rebuild, though. But I will tell you, 1704, February 29th, it was a leap year. And the community of Deerfield slept behind its stockade. And the war that had been going on, QueenAnne'sWar, seemed a long way away from this sleepy little settlement. They didn't expect that they would have any problems here. And they let their guard down. The snow piled up against the stockade. The guards were few and far between. And on the night of February 29th, one of the guards fell asleep. The result being a war party of French and native allies. Many of these native allies, former inhabitants of the Pioneer Valley who had been forced out by the late war, King Philip's War, and they were bent on revenge. A massacre ensued here, and the result is 48, 50, I can't remember the exact number of inhabitants of the settlement are killed, and another 100 plus are led away into captivity up the Deerfield River to Canada, where they will be ransomed back or never return. The native people practiced what's known as the Mourning War, which is the process of the replacement of the souls of the dead. And the French had co-opted this practice and used it in their own war making against the English or whoever else they were fighting here in the New World. So this is the Indian house. Really cool to see. And really a great history. Sadly, it's just a replica. But the door still exists. You can see it down the road in the Pocumtuck Valley Memorial Association, the PVMA Museum. It's called Memorial Hall if you're interested. And I would recommend a stop not only at the Indian House, but at that particular museum for those that want to take this trip a little further.